You're about to learn to make these wonderful display panels. I make them to tuck in the back of shadow boxes for my customers, but you can make them and put them in your own displays. And you don't need to put them in anything. Consider something like collectible jewelry. Straight pins are all you need to stick it to the panel, and this little ribbon handle thing can be used to hang them on the wall. Or just fold the ribbon back and get yourself a wire stand and put it on the piano or mantle. Tray chic. So here are the tools you're going to need for some do-it-yourself. Scissors. Use good ones, less bad language that way. Utility knife or saw. It depends on what you're using for a backing board. More on this in a minute. A metal rule or a framing square makes life much easier. A few sheets of newspaper to keep spray adhesive off the kitchen table. A pencil or pen, or best, a felt tip pen. Finally, don't neglect to get yourself a big uncluttered workspace. Maybe something outside. You're going to be spraying smelly stuff here in a little bit. As for materials, you need to run down some stuff, and here's a hint. You can find all of it at Walmart. First is backer board. Cut yourself a nice crisp piece of corrugated cardboard or foam core with a utility knife. For a bigger panel, cut a piece of 1/8 inch hardboard, but you will need a saw. If you have more money than time or tools, go to a framing store and have them cut you something nice and stout. Next, you'll need some padding if you're using thin fabric. If you're using a nice fluffy fleece, for example, you might not need any padding at all. Poly or cotton blanket stuff works great. Pick out a nice fabric. This will show, so some showmanship is in order. At the risk of seeming sexist, you might want to consult a woman if you're a man or otherwise not good with fabric, like me. You'll need a little ribbon. 12 inches of something about 1/2 inch wide would be fine, and finally spray adhesive. The cheap stuff works quite well and lets you reposition things if you get it wrong. Finally, some poster board or some nice thick paper. So here's what you do. Start with your backer board. And by the way, if it's going into a shadow box, I cut it about 1/8 to 1/4 inch smaller than the inside of that shadow box. Depends on how thick your fabric is. So I've already cut out my backer board, my padding, and my fabric, and I put down a few pieces of newspaper. First step, spray the adhesive around the backer board and put down your padding, smooth it out all nice and nice, and remove the sticky piece of newspaper. Put your backer board and padding down with the padding down. Find the middle of the short side, put a little mark, and draw up about halfway. While I'm doing this, let me talk to you a little bit about how adhesive works. It's best and strongest and easiest to use if you let it dry. You let it tack up for just a minute before you stick things together. Hey, read the instructions, right? Anyway, spray adhesive along your line, but be sure and cover up the bottom inch or so of your board. Fold your ribbon in half and stick it down on either side of your line. Okay, now you've also got a little 3x5 piece of poster board. Oh, there it is. We're going to spray adhesive on that as well. By the way, shake the can every time you get a chance. And then we're going to take the poster board and stick it down over the ribbon, staying an inch off the bottom, and rub it down real well. Okay, then take a little piece of Scotch tape, fold the ribbon up out of the way, and tape it down. New piece of newspaper, and there's my fabric. By the way, 1 inch to 1.5 inches bigger than the backer board. Once again, the spray adhesive. Oh, by the way, cover up now the handle and spray the bottom of the backer board, all 4 edges, right? As well as the exposed part of the fabric. Then fold it in from the middle of the long side. Stretch it just a little bit. Don't have to get carried away. Just want to pull the wrinkles out of it. Then to the middle of the short sides. Okay, and then work your way into the corners. As you go, keep stretching, and when you get to the corners, pinch the pieces together, fold them one way, rub it down, fold them the other way, and rub it down. Let me repeat that. Work your way into the corners, stretching as you go. Pinch the corners together and lay the little peaky thing down in one direction and the other and rub it into the glue. Okay? This is, by the way, the only tricky bit. There you go. All 4 corners are done. Go back and fussy things up a tiny bit. If you got any wrinkles or lumpy bits, smooth them out. Take your scissors, and here is a good time to use good scissors. Cut all 4 of the corners off, and you should have a fairly flat surface when you're all done. fuss with it a little bit as you go. Release the handle. You see now why you did the handle the way you did. Sticks out the bottom. No, it will here in a second anyway. Okay, last 4 corners are done. You're about to see why it's a good idea to move the newspaper all the time, because this newspaper is sticky. Anyway, take another piece of poster board about 1/4 to 1/2 inch smaller than your finished dimension, spray it all over with the adhesive, and then put your backer board down and your panel down. Put the poster board on the back, centering it nicely, and rub it down real well. Well, that should be about it, with the exception of some good rubbing. Here's the part. Yeah, you see why I should have replaced the newspaper? There it is. One upholstered display panel with ribbon handle, or if you prefer, a ribbon hanger. That's pretty much it. You might give it overnight for the volatiles and the adhesive to evaporate and the maximum strength to develop, particularly if you're going to hang it on the wall, and most particularly if you plan to put heavy things on it and then hang it on the wall. If this all went by a little too fast, check out the full article on my website, www.home-museum.com. Navigate to my how-to page and check on padded display inserts. Contact me with any questions or comments, and thanks for watching.